Is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video with your boy Thick Whips. Today I'm visiting the guys over at ECS Tuning who have always been such a big help on this channel. As you guys know, they were a big part of the E36 M3 build and they will be a big part of all of my future builds. But the guys over at ECS Tuning were kind enough to fly me down here to check out their M240i, which is a raffle car. Yes, they are giving this car away. So I'm gonna have all the details down in the description for you guys so you can go ahead and enter to win this car. There are numerous ways that you can win, but when you guys buy anything off of ECS Tuning, you are automatically entering to win this car. If you guys buy any products from any of the sponsors that were a part of building this M240i, you get twice the number of entries. So I'll leave all the information down below for you guys so you can go ahead and enter to win this car. But this will actually be a pretty interesting day because I have never driven the M240i in a manual transmission. Now, as you guys know, I love the B58. The B58 that was in my Supra, phenomenal, but it did have the ZF transmission. Now, while that might be the faster option, it doesn't mean that it's the better option. Some of us like rolling through those gears. We prefer a manual transmission, and this one is in fact manual. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop inside the car and show you guys what this M240 is all about. All right, you guys, so here we are in the M240 with the manual transmission. So the first thing that stood out to me was actually how great this transmission feels in this car. And I can't help but wonder what the Supra would have been like with this gearbox, with this transmission in that car. It feels really good. It feels at home. It feels very natural. Honestly, it feels a lot like my M2, except it has the B58 power plant. My M2 was making a little over 400 wheel. I don't think that this car currently is far off from that, but in general, the car feels great. I haven't really gotten on it much. I've just been kind of cruising around and feeling it out. It handles really good. This car has the KW-V3 coilovers on it, which it's a fantastic suspension setup. I've ran it on all of my cars. You really can't go wrong with KW-V3 coils. It is running the Super Sprint exhaust system. Right now, they are currently running the race chip on this car, which is just a very conservative piggyback tune, kind of like a JB4, but currently made by Race Chip. I am familiar with Race Chip. I've seen their tunes, their piggybacks before on other cars. They seem to be pretty decent for what they are. Being that Race Chip is a sponsor for this build, that is why they went that route and partnered with them. Totally makes sense. But of course, if you win this car, do whatever you want to it. Get a proper tune, get a boot mode, get an MHD, get Accutech, whatever you want. There are lots of routes you can go with the B58 and the opportunities are endless. For the wheels, we've got the BBS wheels on here. They look really good. Very simple, basic, affordable BBS wheels, lightweight, and I think that they suit this car very well. In addition to that, for braking, they are running the Stop Tech Big Brake Kit on this car, which is actually something that I'm looking into for the next build. Also, a relatively affordable option to get into a big brake setup. Car has all your basic bolt-ons, intake, charge pipe, exhaust. It is running the CSF heat exchanger, and they are also installing a custom carbon fiber steering wheel soon. So it is not completely in the state that it will be in when it is finally raffled off on November 2nd, but they are going to be adding a couple of more things, and this is, for the most part, what it is going to be. So the car feels really, really good just from a driving standpoint. And I'm telling you what, man, when you get into third gear, this thing pulls boost so gnarly. It feels fantastic. I just love the way that B58 spool. They also did the P3 gauge setup, which I had in my M2. This thing has all kinds of cool functions. It's got your oil temperature, your boost, and in addition to that, is also running a short throw kit made by Turner, which feels really good. It turns the transmission into something that's a little bit more notchy, but I kind of like that, to be honest with you. A little more feel, gives you a little bit more connection to that gearbox. So this is my first time in Ohio, to be honest with you. I didn't know much about Ohio. It's a lot of rolling hills, but it's beautiful this time of year because it is fall. And we're just gonna kind of get lost and go on some back roads and have some fun with this car. It's crazy how this thing pulls boost at like 2.5, 3,000 RPMs. It'll just set you back once it pulls it. It feels really good. This car feels really, really nice. So it's nice because this exhaust isn't over the top. It's pretty quiet. It has like a good stockish tone to it. These cars can get really, really loud when you straight pipe them, or look at all the cows. That's how you know you're in the Midwest. But these cars can get very, very loud. The B58, when you straight pipe it, man, it sounds absolutely mental. Kind of like the M55, where it has that like diesely, like truck tone to it. You have to be careful because you can definitely go a little too far with the B58 if you straight pipe it like open turbo back. This exhaust setup from Super Sprint is nice because it gives it a little bit more character, a little bit more tone, and it's not like over the top, like obnoxiously loud. Like you can still drive this car, have fun with it, and you know, not piss your neighbors off or create a bunch of drone. Let's take some different turns here, man. It is nothing but cornfields and barns out here. This thing rips, dude. Feels really good. It reminds me a lot of my M2, man. A lot of things with this car, exact same characteristics with that M2. You know, if you want like all the speed, if you want all the fastness, you're gonna wanna go with the automatic. You're just gonna get through the gears faster. There are some things with the manual transmission that are just kind of like drawbacks. But if you're not worried about like all speed, dude, manual is the way to go. You are so connected to this car. It feels great driving it. It feels like you have more control, and the car will have a little bit more soul. The F-Series is such a fantastic chassis because it's that perfect mix between modern and raw. It sort of feels like an E46 with electric steering. Now, the electric steering is definitely not something that takes away so much from the experience, but it's definitely the most modern part that you feel right away. Now we got some turns down here. This will be fun. Oh, dude, yeah. Feels good. Feels very good. Very minimal body roll. This thing is not slammed on the ground either. I will say the stopping power is fantastic. Kind of rolling through these rolling hills and a lot of these corners that are sharp and you need to stop pretty quick. It definitely does the job. Like, it comes to a stop very, very quickly. Yeah, she feels great, man. It feels really, really good. You gotta love that B58 boost. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the turbo spool is pretty wicked. Yeah, these roads are awesome. Feels fantastic. Very well balanced. Not a lot of body roll. Great braking. Got enough grip for the power that it makes. Yeah, this is fantastic. So as you guys see, the exterior is relatively stock, and you know, you can really style these M240s to make them look amazing. Lots of aftermarket support for these cars. ECS Tuning's approach was more along the lines of good tires, good brakes, good performance, keep it well balanced, and just add a little bit of flair to the exterior. Obviously, it's got a pretty cool wrap livery on it. And yeah, it's a great looking car in general, man. The M240 is pretty much timeless, but the power plant is really why you buy this car. The B58, it's just one of the best. It's honestly one of the best. Good little turn here. Yeah, I mean, dude, it feels so good. So these cars have the auto rev match, which is definitely something you need to sort of get used to. In the M2, it was the same way. All the rev matching was done by the car, which can be a little bit strange, but you can, I think there is a way to like code that out or turn it off so it doesn't do it if you're a little more old school. It's nice because you get just the right amount of tech mixed with just the right amount of car, just raw, authentic car. And that's kind of the combination that a lot of people are looking for when they buy, you a sports car or a BMW or just an enthusiast car in general. The M240 is a great platform because it doesn't go too far. It doesn't feel too futuristic. It doesn't feel too numb like some of these newer cars do. You still feel very connected to the car, but you're still given some of that new tech that is just nice to have sometimes. So, doesn't this look familiar? It just honestly reminds me a ton of my M2. A lot of the things are the same in this car. You guys can ignore the TPMS sensor in the check engine light. The check engine light is for the O2, which is just because of the downpipe. TPMS, they just need to reset. So I'm heading back to the hotel here, but just to kind of give you an idea of what this interior looks like. Dude, this car is, it's freaking sick, man. It's really, really nice. I love the way that these BMWs are designed. It's very simple, classic, and the gearbox feels great, dude. Very short throw, a little bit notchy. I think it feels a little bit better that way, to be honest. The car drives incredibly smooth. If you guys haven't driven a car with KW V3 coils, dude, you've got to do it. It feels so good. P3 gauge, super clean. I was running that in my M2 as well. It's got so many cool capabilities, man. It's great to have in the car. So yeah, this could be your view if you win. So make sure you guys check out the link down in the description. Take you guys to ECS and buy some stuff. Enter to win this M240i. Yes, sir. Feels really good in boost. Like the pull, man, feels awesome. Also, can we just like appreciate Ohio for a second? Kind of digging Ohio, guys. Never been to Ohio, but a lot of beautiful rolling hills. The fall foliage is 100% here. Hasn't quite hit us in Charlotte, North Carolina, being that it's so warm there. Reminds me a lot of Wisconsin, where I grew up. All right, guys, we are back at ECS Tuning with the M240 cheat code giveaway car. I'm actually joined here with my buddy Pat, who works at ECS Tuning. He is the BMW product analyst, and he actually picked out all of the parts on this car and aligned all the sponsorships for this car. I'm gonna let him tell us a little bit more about what is specifically on this M240i.
So yeah, we did pretty much everything you can to this car. So some of our top sponsors on this build, the KW, that got the V3s that feel really awesome. Obviously we got the BBS wheels, the Stop Tech big brake kit, the beautiful yellow, and our friends at Hawk Pads gave us the pads for this car. I actually needed the pads in a pinch and they helped me out last minute, so really appreciate that, guys. On top of that, we've got our race chip tune, we've got PowerFlex bushings on this car, we've got all of our liquid moly fluids in there, so we did, all of the preventative things, fuel line cleaner, everything you'd want done from liquid moly. Shout out to those guys for all that good stuff. We've also got a lot of our Turner Motorsport and ECS tuning products on here, so see the awesome intake we've got there, charge pipe, turbo inlet, so all of our B58 stuff for the M240s on this car. We also have Turner suspension components, so we've got our Turner sway bars, we've got our tie rod ends, subframe bushings. We've also got some of our ECS goodies, so we've got our carbon fiber M-style mirror caps there, with sequential blinkers as well. And then we've also got a pretty cool steering wheel. Actually gonna put it on today for you guys. Alcantara with M stitching and then the carbon fiber as well. This is a new product, so we're just getting these in now. They look really good, so I'm really excited about these. We've also got our Turner short shift kit on there. It's really notchy, it feels really great. Turner high kick spoiler as well. And can't forget, we've got a full turbo back Super Sprint exhaust. It's actually pretty tame, all things considered. It sounds really great. Closer to an OE style sound for a full exhaust that's got all that lightweight performance. Really sounds great. We've also got a CSF heat exchanger on there, so that's going to keep things cool. Got our P3 gauge, which looks really nice, pops right in. And then obviously we have Miley and L-Ring to thank for all of our aftermarket, extra goodies as we were refreshing this car. You know, everything we did, we were replacing as we went. So shout out to everybody involved helping making this build happen.
All right, so what can you tell me a little bit about, like, why is this car called Project Cheat Code? Like, what is it? What is the purpose of that?
Yeah, so we actually kind of took that from the forum guys. So B58 obviously we know is a really capable platform. People are building these things to the moon, and the F22, the M240, is the lowest curb weight vehicle offered with the B58. So all in all, this is the best way to make the most power, the least amount of weight. Got the manual transmission as well, which obviously we all know is fading away. So this is a rare bird right here. It's really a neat build, and we like the term cheat code. So
yeah. Well, you guys have done a great job on it. Specifically, how can people enter to win this car?
Yeah, so it's actually super easy. Every purchase you make is worth an entry. So every $50 you spend, rather, is worth an entry. And then if you buy anything from any of our sponsors, regardless of what product it is, so anything from KW, anything from ECS, anything from Turner, anything from any of our sponsors on this build, will get you 2 entries for every $50 you spend. It's pretty easy to enter. All you do is buy something and you have a chance to win. And by the way, second place is also an Xbox Series X with the new Forza Horizon that's coming out on November 5th. So
cool.
You might not win the car, but you may win an Xbox, so it's a win-win.
That's pretty dope. And this is what, by November 1st, you guys
Second.
announced it? Second.
November 2nd is the last day to enter.
Okay, very cool, man.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to build an M240 like this, or obviously any other BMW products, this is the guy here who has the most knowledge when it comes to the BMW products for these cars, and obviously ECS Tuning and Turner Motorsports sell all of these products. So if you wanted to, like, mimic this build, you could do so at ECS Tuning.
Sir.
All right, Pat, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you so
guys.
much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. So guys, that is gonna wrap up this video, kind of showing you this cheat code M240i giveaway car. Everything is gonna be linked in the description for you guys if you're interested in entering. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Out of sight, out of mind, on my way. Out of sight, out of mind, on my way.